Hello, everyone. So, a subject that has always kind of been an issue in this country, and for a long time it wasn't talked about, and I suppose now it's good in a way that's been talked about. In a way, it's not good, but in a way, it's terrifying at the same time. That this is happening behind closed doors, and that's domestic violence too. And during the lockdowns, obviously, when people were locked in with each other, there was literally people getting beaten up and abused. Like again, it's tragic, and it's very frightening. It is truly frightening. They even look at the figures. How many people looking for help for women's aid, reaching out for help from Garda Síochána, reaching out to Childline too. It's very very frightening. It's truly very very frightening. And because everybody was locked in the house with each other, obviously that builds tension. You can't go anywhere. Before that, people could maybe get away. From abuse or things like that. And obviously, I have been involved in. I have known of a few cases. People have come to me about it. In some regards to domestic violence. And thankfully, I can say that at least they got away from the abuser. Next one said obviously the court proceedings. Next one said still to go ahead for different things. A few of them were very very violent. I will say that straight, and it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have been never allowed. It should have been something should have been done many years beforehand. Because some people are just very controlling. Again, this is the thing, very controlling. Even though two or three men that have been abused by women, and then there's no shame around that because it does happen. It does happen. We have to acknowledge that it does happen. Particularly the controlled aspect. I do understand a lot more. Particularly again, men too. You see a lot of men controlling a lot of women, controlling their money, controlling who they see, where they go, etc. 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 And it is very frightening. It is truly very frightening because, again, you see people outside, and again, two or three people, that came to me and I was involved in their cases, looking at it, and seeing what's happening. It's very frightening. It is truly frightening that you see them. I often see them holding hands going down the street when I was younger. And it's frightening to take again in one of these cases that when I was a child, I used to see them with holding the hands and everything like that. And behind that, there was a abusive relationship, a very toxic relationship, very upset relationship, and again that's going on a good long time. Let's be honest, years, and again you don't see what's going on behind closed doors, and that's the thing. I can never tell what's going on behind closed doors, but I do say straight to people, and again I do admire these, particularly again these, a lot of them are young women coming forward and saying and speaking, because it's not easy. It's not easy. And even two of the three men, I hold three cases of young men being abused by women. And it's that's the right thing to do. Come forward and not to let it build inside of you, because nobody deserves to be treated like that. Like, let's be fair. You obviously couples have wows and things like that. That's obviously you're obviously going to have a wow now and again about something. But this is constantly, because again it's constant. Like belittling you. A lot of the kids too. People trying to bring people down. A lot of your relationships. But yeah, I just say this, and again I do say to women again. I know a lot of women, particularly in Cavan, find it very comforting that particularly a lot of the TDs understand, which is good in this county. A lot of them understand. And I do say to a lot of anybody who has experienced domestic violence to obviously speak first of all, to go to your local Garda station or speak to me if you want to. Of course, email me or message me on Twitter or Facebook. I'm here to help. Or you speak to anybody about it. Talk to your friends. Talk to your family. But no, don't let it go on. Don't let it go on. That's to be totally honest. So yeah. But again, everybody has wow now and again. It's when it's constant. When it's constant, like a wow every once a year or something like that about something. Because again, people always will wow about something. But it's again, these are constant instances every week, every day, every hour, X, Y, and Z. But again, I do say to people to listen to Pauline Tully, TD Sinn Féin, TD for Cavan Monaghan. I do suggest you listen to her. She's a TD in Dáil now. And I do suggest you listen to her podcast, which is on my Twitter account. You can look at it. It's called the Glass War Podcast or something like that. A journalist from the Irish Times is doing it. And it's very frightening to hear about the whole experience. With domestic abuse, and which it's very frightening. It's very very frightening. And to hear what it led to, and the tragedy it led to. So again, I would listen to her because she does make it fair. I listen to her all, but she just she just tell everything that leads up to it, the control, the aspect, all this in the background, trying to belittle somebody, trying to belittle her, things like that. And again, if I played the Pauline Tully for having the guts to speak, to speak, it's not easy. It's truly not easy when you go through that. It's truly not easy. So I'm sure we will all give her credit, a huge credit for speaking up, because it's not easy. It's not easy. But yeah, so yeah, and again, I say to people, to speak about it. That's the main thing. But again, I do suggest you listen to that because maybe it might help a few people. Hopefully it does. But yeah, I just wanted to speak about that. But we do have to be more aware of this, and I suppose the action needs to be taken as soon as it's aware. Like again, a few cases too, a Gardaí in O'Connell, particularly the Guards, were aware of these cases. Were aware for years of some of these domestic violence cases by people who reported them in, about people being hit on the side of the road by their husband or things like that. And they just reported it into the barracks, and the Guards never bothered to look into it. And then it was when something finally happened, the Guards, like something very serious happened. And the Guards were like, "Oh, nothing to do with us. We never knew anything about it." And apparently they did know because it was on the record. On a few occasions, they did know something was going on, but they never bothered to investigate it. So we need to obviously investigate it straight away if there's any kind of instance of domestic violence. Especially too because there has been a few instances in Cavan and in Monaghan and every other county really too. It's kind of gone up a good bit of children being abused and being malnourished and things like that. And obviously we need to straight away be on top of that, and particularly when it's a child involved. We can't stand around and hold hands and say we're going to wait. We have to investigate it. We can't be standing around. A child's life is, again, as this, whatever the age is, we have to be quick on it. We have to be more quicker on it. Because Tusla again is too busy running around fighting at parents who are good, decent parents, and they're not going after the people who are actually abusing children. So that's what Tusla's doing. Tusla's not doing its proper job. It's going after people who are decent parents. That's what it's doing. I haven't seen Tusla do really anything good for any child that was in desperate need. Like the majority of cases I hear of Tusla is when they're going and abusing parents for different things, honest mistakes and things like that. And when when children are being abused, the blind eye's turned and there's nothing done about it. But again, we need to get to this country. We need to really just kind of put the foot down and say we can't tolerate it anymore. And obviously for instant domestic violence, things like there should be prison sentence and things like that. If there's any physical harm done, things like that, there should be more done to combat it. And basically what I'm trying to say is, if there is a load of legislation there saying, how the legislation though it's 5 years for constant domestic violence, abuse or whatever, something like that, it would put the tone on this, because again, many of these cases there's nothing done about it. There's a lawsuit obviously in court. They obviously get a bit of money out of it, but there's nothing really done about these cases when women have been hit, and nothing's been done about it. And it's sad. It's really sad that we live in the country, people do fear living with a partner, or living with somebody. We need to. It's an issue that needs to be sorted, and that we need to look at. We do really need to look at, because it is. Again, the one thing with the lockdown showed us that it is happening. It is on the surface, and it's kind of been brought to light. We always knew that it was happening, but we didn't know how severe it was in every town, in every village, because it is happening in every town, in every village, in every county, in every part of Ireland. There's one case happening somewhere. But we need to do something about it. That's really all I have to say about it. But again, I say to women, I say to anybody out there that experiences domestic violence, to speak. Please do. Please do let us know. Let the authorities know. Don't be afraid to speak. You will be listened to. You will be listened to if you come to me, even if you want. You will be listened to. We won't ignore you, and I say that straight. But hopefully, again, there is cases of people being ignored. But again, I say to people to speak about it. But yeah, go and speak. Or speak to your family. Speak to somebody you trust. So yeah, take care, everybody. Be safe and bye.